everyone, my name is Sima. Welcome back to my channel. Today I will be doing a black and white Unus Annus inspired makeup look while we chat about the ending of that YouTube channel and just death in general. I have a lot of issues with death, so I always welcome the opportunity to both talk about it and also have someone talk me down. In this scenario, it's just gonna be me rambling, so I don't, I might spiral, I might not. I'm gonna try to not get into my own head too much and sort of start like cycling through all of my worst case scenarios, but I am really afraid of dying, so it's gonna be an interesting talk. Let's just jump right in. So to start, I'm just gonna like put on some lip balm because I look still really weird. This lip balm I got for Christmas. It's made in Italy. Ultra hydrating lip balm. Pure Bio Cosmetics? Pure Bio, okay, yeah, so sorry, the O looked like a leaf or something, so I thought it was just Pure Bio, but it's Pure Bio Cosmetics. I think they're probably an Italian brand. So Unus Annus, I've mentioned this before because I discovered them. When did I discover them? Let me look that up. So I think I didn't discover them. I'd heard about Unus Annus for like a couple weeks and I didn't really know what it was, and then I finally was like, okay, what is this? I know it's ending soon, so I kind of decided to like investigate. And so November 3rd was when I like started watching the first few videos, and I kind of got an idea of what everything was. And I think the concept was like really, like that's what made me keep watching, was the concept. Like I've mentioned a lot of times, I'm like really like severely afraid of death. I have like existential meltdowns like on the daily about dying and death and just the concept of mortality. It's not something that like my brain can handle. And so I that's kind of what made me want to actually catch up. Was I was like, well, this is such a brilliant idea, and even though the videos themselves seem kind of like superficial, not superficial, that's the wrong word, but like silly, you know, like every video is not like some philosophical exploration of death. It's like just every day like goofing off with your friends, doing weird things. Like there's a message there, but every video is not just like hitting you over the head and like really like making you feel depressed every day. So I kind of like that idea of, you know, processing death in that way. Sorry, I figured I should like start doing my actual makeup. So I'm gonna prime my face with the Benefit POREfessional. I had a blood test done today, so if you see this, that's all that is. Like, don't be worried about it. I was dehydrated and they couldn't find the vein in my arm, so they had to use my hand. So that sucked. Yeah, I'm gonna use the POREfessional. Guys, I finally cleaned the goddamn mirror. Are you proud of me? Oops, this is the wrong way. I've always been super afraid of dying. And so I was hoping that catching up with Unus Annus would sort of, I don't know, no, it wouldn't be like the same obviously as coping with like a real person's death, but I was hoping it would kind of be, it would like somehow calm me a little bit and be like a good practice in letting things go and just accepting that nothing lasts forever, and the end of everything is kind of I can't speak. The end is an inevitability of life. So that was kind of like the whole reason I wanted to catch it, was I was like, I will take anything at this point that will keep me from spiraling every single day. So I started watching it on November 3rd, but I had to stop obviously because November 3rd was election day, so I watched like 2 videos and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna come back to this when I can. And I was hoping it would like not take a week for all the election stuff to unfold, but it took like, I think they called it finally on Sunday or on Saturday. So it took me a couple days where I just like did not have time. I was on election watch like 24/7. Like when I was working I was on it, but then even my free time I was kind of like election watch 24/7. So I couldn't really watch it at all. So I really only was able to start watching it again on the 8th, I think. Yeah, like on the 8th I think was when I actually was able to start watching it like properly again. And the channel was like, the last day of the channel was the 13th. That way they were gonna delete it at like midnight LA time, I believe, which was like 3 a.m. Eastern Standard, which is my time zone. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take the Too Faced Born This Way that I've used in many videos. Can't put it on the stand because I have the blood test stuff on there. So I had to like watch all the videos between the 8th and the 13th. And also the 13th was when they had their giant 12-hour live stream. So I obviously had to like, I couldn't catch all of that, but I wanted to try to catch as much of it as I could. And then all throughout this I was also like working like full shifts, right, like at work. So I didn't have a whole lot of time. I did my best on double speed to catch up with the channel. And for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, the whole point of Unus Annus was they were gonna post every day for a year and then delete the whole channel. It's a thing that Markiplier and Ethan CrankGameplays were doing. You should subscribe to both of their like actual channels, like their main channels, because they're cool dudes. So I really only had a couple days to do that, and I was like operating, like I was watching everything on double speed and trying my best to like, get through them. And I think I think considering the amount of time I had, I did a really good job. Like I think if I'd had like an extra like 6 hours, I definitely could have finished everything. But I came up about, I want to say like 53, 54 videos short. I can't remember the exact number of videos they had on the channel just because like it was a year's worth, but I don't remember exactly how many I watched, but I know it was definitely like, yeah, I had like a little over 50 left, I think, when things wrapped up. But I think I watched, my earring fell out, that's okay. I think I watched all the ones I really wanted to. Like, I basically watched like chronologically all the way until like June or something, and then I went back and kind of was like, I should watch some of the like ending ones because I know those are like really profound and have like a lot of like the big message stuff and like really are preparing you for the end. So then I watched those like reverse chronologically, so like most recent first all the way back to like summer. Like I watched Camp Unus Annus, and then a couple of the ones before that. The range that I kind of missed out on was like end of June to like end of August was like the 2 months that I kind of ran out of time to finish. So like I feel like I got a lot of the good references. I got the gist, you know, and it's like, it sucks that I missed out on those 53, 54 videos. And like, I know people are gonna be like, well, if you really want to see them, you can like go out and look for them, but I'm like really trying hard to like respect the actual like message of the channel. Like part of me, like, believe me, part of me really wants to go find these. I really like, that defeats the purpose, right? Like that like is kind of contrary to everything, so I'm trying not to do that. I'm just gonna grab my Shape Tape and do some concealer. And honestly, I think considering it, like really the amount of time I had was like less than a week, like 5 days maybe max was the actual like time I had to commit to like catching up. Honestly, the fact that I got through 10 months worth of videos in 5 days is impressive, and I'm proud of myself for actually like doing that. I like that I was able to do that. I thought like I told myself before this all like happened, like before they actually ended the channel and deleted it, I was like, if you like don't go looking for downloads. And I was like, I'm gonna try, but I was worried like the temptation would just be too strong. But like really, when they hit delete, it kind of like, they described it on the stream like you don't really get it unless you get it. And I feel like seeing them hit delete and see like all the emotions they were having, all the emotions I was having, even though I'd only been there for like really a week, all the emotions everybody was having, it kind of really, I think that made the message hit home. And it really did make me not want to go find the ones I hadn't seen. Like part of me still does, obviously, but like the way I've kind of put it in my head is like, don't seek them out. If they somehow like fall into your lap, you can consider that like an act of God and watch them, but like don't try to like Google it, don't look for them, don't like ask people to send it to you. Like it's like if you like literally are like minding your own business and like a link just like somehow appears in your periphery, like, not that I'm gonna use it, but I'm giving myself that like, if it seriously is like an act of God, then maybe it's a sign. It's like kind of like, what's that movie where the girl and that zombie fall in love? Warm Bodies. So it's like if Unus Annus warm bodies me in the sense that like I'm minding my own business and the corpse of the channel like rises from the dead, stumbles into my lap and is like, we should date, watch these videos, then like I'm not gonna pretend I'm not gonna be tempted. I'm not gonna pretend I'm not gonna like cave into that temptation, even though like humans and zombies dating is like a questionable premise. I think the film establishes that like the zombies are sentient, or like and become like more sentient as the movie goes on, but it's still like a weird premise, right? Like it was a cutesy teen movie, but it was like a weird premise. Anyway, so if like zombie Unus Annus stumbles into my life, I will probably warm bodies it, but I am not gonna seek it out because I'm trying really hard to like respect like meaning of all that. I'm really bad at talking and doing my makeup at once is what I'm learning from this. This makeup look is like, I'm thinking, so like the Unus Annus thing is like black and white, right? I think I'm gonna do like all black one side, all white one side, and then do like eyeliner in the reverse. So like on the black side, white eyeliner, and white eyeliner on the black side, just kind of as an homage. And also I don't do like really creative looks all that often. I am pretty neutral for the most part, like neutral, and then like sometimes like fall burgundy vampy, but like I don't experiment too much, and I kind of want to because I have so much fun, like I have so many fun colors and experimental things that I figured like I should try. Like I don't think I'm gonna be good at it, but it's kind of, it's fun. It's fun to have a reason to be doing this. Cool powder. So just gonna grab my Mercier translucent setting powder and go under my eyes with that. I think I'm trying to keep the rest of my face like pretty neutral, just because I don't want it to take too much focus away from the eyes, so I'm probably gonna go light on like the blush and the contour and stuff, but we'll see. And I'm just grabbing my Hourglass dim light and ambient setting powder and just going over the rest of my face. Cool. So I'm grabbing this Japanesque brush that I used last time and my Kat Von D Shade and Light, and I'm just gonna go into all three of the colors and just like bring some of the like shape to my face back, because it kind of like all gets erased when you do foundation, right? So yeah, so that's my whole journey with the channel and where I'm at. And honestly, like while I embarked on this, I kind of was a little bit doubtful, you know, that like 1 week could have that much of an impact on me. But like they really like hit it out of the park with just like the messaging, especially at the end, like the last like couple weeks of videos and the live stream, and just like, I don't know, I find like both of them, like I think what was interesting is after they did like their, like they deleted everything, they did their post-mortem like videos on their own channels. It's really interesting. I feel like I relate to Ethan a lot in a lot of ways, like, but specifically his reaction was a lot more like how I think I would react. Like he obviously was like very proud and very happy, and like he wasn't like sad or like he didn't regret it, you know what I mean? But he was very, like he was emotional in that he was crying, and he really was like, I don't know, he was, I feel like, and not to say like Mark wasn't grieving, but I think at least, I don't know either of them, but just my interpretation this whole year has been like Markiplier, Mark Fishbach has like a view on life and death that I wish I could internalize like so badly, and I cannot do it. And like this week was like a good reminder of like, even if I don't feel like I can, I should try to internalize that, because again, my impression is Mark uses the inevitability of death and the fact that life is like short and time is ticking as a motivator, and like something that like drives him. It has the exact opposite effect on me. It terrifies me to the point of like paralysis. Like I don't know if I'm doing like my contour well and like half paying attention because I'm still like in my thoughts, but I'm very not into the concept of okay, so here's my thing. I can't do things for the sake of the journey. Like I've never been that person who's like, oh, like it doesn't matter like how you got there, it's like the journey that matters. That's never been me. So I'm gonna grab this Buxom Wanderlust, the primer infused blush in Dolly, and I'm just gonna blush up my cheeks a little bit, but like nothing too crazy, just because again, I don't want that to be the focus of this. I cannot do things without knowing what the end point is. And so like death is obviously one of those things where like, because we don't know what happens when you die, and it, like by all means it's probably nothing, but like you're probably just literally dead and gone. But like on the off chance that you're not, like, you know, like the fact that you don't know, it freaks me out. Like I just like the idea of putting all this effort into like living for it to all just be gone. I can't handle that. I cannot. Like everyone's like, I would hate to be immortal. I am one of those people that ever since I was a kid, I've always been like, I wish I could be immortal. I don't want to die. And not in the like I want to live forever, but like I wish I had control over it, you know? Like I wish I could just do my thing, and then when I'm ready to go on my own terms, I can be like, all right, time to peace out. The idea that you have no control over it and you don't know how much time you have, that freaks me out. But I also feel like if I did know when I was gonna die, that would also freak me out, because then I'd be like, I have like X amount of time to get my shit done. But if there was like literally no timer, like it was literally, there was no timer, and then once you felt like you were done, you could just like peace out, like that one gif. That would be like my ideal. And I don't, like people despise it. I have not met a person that I've explained this to who has something like, you are out of your mind. So like I know, it's like me, it's me. I have like some weird anxiety mental thing, I think. I don't know about like, just because of the like how unknown death is. It gets into my head. Anyways, I'm using this Ofra Pillow Talk highlighter. The thing is, I chose this is like, it might look really shiny, like really, it's probably too light for me, and it's probably gonna like be weird, but it's way more cool toned and way more like white than a lot of my other highlighters, and I didn't want to like introduce gold tones when I know my face is gonna be predominantly like black and white, was my logic with picking this. It's definitely gonna leave like some sort of like white cast, probably, on my face. And I know this, and if you're gonna tell me, oh, you like that highlighter left a white cast, I know, and that was kind of the intention. Like I don't mind it if it gives me like a weird, cool cast. That's fine with me. And then I'm just gonna grab this powder brush and like melt that all in together a little bit. Yeah, like it totally did give me like a white cast, especially here. Like you can see the white line, but I knew that it was gonna do that, and that was the intention. Fix Plus. It's just gonna like blend all the powders together. So yeah, while this is drying, it gives me a good opportunity to talk. Death has like freaked me out since I was a child. Like this is not a new phenomenon. I've always been like incredibly curious about death, like morbidly curious. My mom told me once that I asked her when I was like 6 or 7 years old, like I was like, sorry, like trigger warnings, I guess, kind of for like allusions to suicide. But when I was a child, I remember like I apparently asked my mom, I asked her, if you don't want to live anymore, is there anything you can do to just like stop living? I don't remember what she told me. She wouldn't tell me, but so yeah, I was like asking questions like that from like a very young age. I always remember asking like, what happens when you die? Where do you go? And no answer was ever enough for me, because all of it was so much based on like blind faith, right? Like just believe that this is what happens. But the scientific explanation of just like you're dead and you're gone and like whatever, actually you're just like biology in the ground, like decomposing, that doesn't jive with me either. Because again, the premise of like it doesn't matter how long you live, but like even if you live to 100 years old, that 100 years like is all instantly gone and like has no impact whatsoever in the grand scheme of things. I hate that. I hate that so much. I don't know how people are cool with that. Like they hear that and they're like, this is fine. And I don't mean that in like a, how could you be like that way? I mean that in a genuine, like, I wish that were me way so badly. Like if I could just like let go of how inevitable death is, I think I would be much happier. So now I'm gonna grab my primer, Urban Decay primer, eye primer in Eden, and just like put some primer on my eyeballs. I think I'm gonna use more than I normally would because I'm working with shadows today that are like very intense colors, like white and black, and I want them to actually like really show up. I'm putting on way more of this than I normally would. I'm filming this on a Tuesday and I have to edit it also on Tuesday, and then I have to upload it tonight. Like this is gonna be the fastest turnaround of a YouTube video I think I've ever done. So death, do not like it, do not fuck with it, heavily afraid of it. 0 out of 10, do not want. The other thing is Supernatural is ending this week, which is not like related to anything, but I'm grieving a lot of things that mean a lot to me ending this week. And I know Supernatural for a lot of people has not been good in a very long time, and I kind of agree that it has not been, like I still think Supernatural seasons 1 to 5 are like actually genuinely like incredible television, like so well done. And if season 5's finale had been like the show finale, banger, cult classic forever. And I don't know if they're gonna do justice this week because last week's episode was pretty wrap-up-y, so I don't know what they're doing this week. I hope it's good. I hope it doesn't let me down, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm very stressed out and I don't feel good about it. I don't feel optimistic about it at all, but Sam and Dean Winchester are very important to me, so yes, I'm gonna grieve that too, but that's not the point of anything we're talking about right now. Okay, now I'm gonna take, this is like an old school makeup thing. I don't know if people still do this, but I'm gonna take this NYX Jumbo eye pencil in white and just like put that all over my eye, just because I'm hoping, actually I'm only gonna put it over, what side am I doing? Unus is black, so my right side should be black. Okay, so I'm gonna do the white on my left side. So I'm gonna put this on the white, like on my left side, to hopefully make the white pop just a little more. That I'm gonna be putting over it. And this is like, because it's kind of like creamy, it's hopefully gonna help the powder stick a little better. We are going to. I am not an expert. I actually have genuinely never done like a black or a white eye, so this could go really horribly, or it could go okay. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So the main palette I'm probably gonna be using is this ColourPop Blowing Smoke palette. It's a gray palette with like a black and a white, but also for backups I have this Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Quad in Smoke, which also has a black and a white and a gray and like a taupey color. And then for extra backup, I doubt I'm going to use this, but just in case, I have the ABH Sultry palette. I might pull out Cyborg and Slate maybe, and Noir, depending on if I don't feel like the other blacks are black enough. But I might. Those are like the 3 main palettes I'm using, and then I haven't decided yet if I'm going to use this or not, but I have this Stila liquid eyeshadow in Diamond Dust. Might use this, don't know yet, haven't decided. But yeah, I don't know how to process death. In my family, I haven't really had like, this is gonna sound really bad, but my grandfather died when I was a baby, so I don't remember him. And then my grandfather and grandmother on my dad's side both died like fairly recently, like within the past like 10 years, really. My grandfather and my grandmother on my dad's side have both passed. So like I had actually like a connection with them. But, and this is gonna sound really terrible, like I'm really sorry. I'm gonna grab Stoneface from this palette and just use it as like a transition shade on both sides. So, okay, what I'm trying to say is, because this is gonna sound bad, like I fully recognize that, I didn't really have, I don't know if other immigrants feel this way too, like kids of immigrants, but because I didn't really see my grandparents all that often, and I did feel like we had some kind of like cultural barrier. Like it was very much like I would talk to them every, like once a week as a kid growing up, and then see them in person like once every couple of years. And so I feel like I didn't have the connection to my grandparents that a lot of other people have with theirs. And so, good enough. And so when I lost them, it was like it hurt, but it was almost like, I don't know, do I sound like an absolute, I don't know if this is gonna sound like really cold or really harsh. And I really hope my parents, like my dad doesn't watch it, because like I feel really bad for feeling this way, but it was like a detached kind of sadness. It was like a sadness that I hadn't made more of an effort to connect with them when they were alive, but it wasn't like I was gonna miss them in a painful way, because I already saw them so infrequently that it was like, I don't know, this sounds so bad, but it just already felt like they were not super in my life, you know? Whereas like if someone you see like every day or every week dies, I feel like that's a different kind of grief. And it's not to say I didn't cry, because I cried at my grandfather's funeral. I wasn't in Iran when my grandma died, so I didn't go to her funeral, but I cried when I heard that she died. Like I had like a weird, I was working, so I started crying at work. It was like a detached sort of thing, and I've been very fortunate in that no one else really has died in my life. I've had pets die, and that's been very sad, but even then it's been like mostly when I was a kid and I didn't really understand it. And so I'm like very afraid of dying. I ever since I was a child, I've had like nightmares about my parents dying and like what's gonna happen when they die and like how am I gonna even like survive not being able to talk to my parents anymore. I think about my brother dying, same sort of cycle of like, oh my god, what is it ever gonna be like to like, if God forbid something happened to him, like have to like go through that pain and like weird, and like it's just like I don't know man. I'm gonna take I'm just gonna I think dive into the main colors and then we can go from there. So black on this side, right? Black on this side, white on this one. Okay, so let's grab, I think I'm gonna do the white first, just because that seems easier to not fuck up. I'm gonna have this Girl Scouting Expression go into this white shade called Young Love and just like put that on this side. I'm gonna try the white in this shade and like palette too, just to see if one of them is like more white than the other. Yeah, this Kat Von D white is like white. Say what you want about Kat Von D, her eyeshadows are bomb. And I got these again before the anti-vax thing happened, so I'm not gonna feel bad about using them. I think other people who are better at makeup could probably make this white like stick out more, but I am not that good, so this is really the best we can do. And then I'm gonna take this brush and use this black called Let's Do It, and I'm gonna go really slow with black because I feel like with black it's very easy to just like fuck up and not be able to go back and get it like everywhere. This isn't gonna be a very fancy look, I don't think. Like I know some people are doing like tears and like I can't really. We're gonna try for the basic black and white look and then call it a day, I think, because I'm not that fancy. This is fun though. I kind of feel powerful doing this. All right, I'm gonna jump back into this Kat Von D palette and grab this black. Yeah, see, both the black and the white in this are a lot more powerful and like punchy than the ones in the ColourPop palette, which like makes sense, right? The ColourPop palette I think was cheaper than, like the ColourPop palette has 9 shadows in it. This has 4, and this was I think double the price probably. I got it on sale though, so should I go all the way up? Part of me kind of wants to go all the way up. Yeah, see, I already have like, I should put something under my eye because I have like black like fallout. I might have to go fix that afterwards, but we'll see. So anyways, Unus Annus I think was a really cool idea, and saying goodbye to it was like weirdly cathartic. I don't know, it was like kind of like I was proud that I squeezed myself into being part of something that was like so cool at the last minute. Like it really, nothing like it I don't think has ever really been done before on YouTube, at least not that I think anyone I know has ever heard of. So it was like, it was cool, you know, like it was a very revolutionary concept, and like you can like call it stupid or whatever, but I think they did something very cool and like very new. And I think the logical follow, I think to blend this out the way I have here, I think I just need to like go up a little with some like dark gray. I'm grabbing this gray color that's in this and I'm just gonna like use that to sort of blend out a bit. You know what else is funny about Unus Annus? I didn't know anything about it or what it was when I decided to like embark on my Queer Eye idea, but it's like kind of cool, you know, that they just wrapped up this year-long project and I just embarked on one. It's like, I don't know, the world works in weird ways, and like I think that was like fundamentally, I think the message of what they were doing was like live in the present and savor every moment and try to use every moment to the best of your ability. Like don't waste your time that you've got because you don't really know when it's gonna end. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do with my whole thing, is I'm really trying to live in the present and accept that nothing is promised, and living in my own head and living in the past or in the future and just like freaking out about stuff isn't really serving me. And it's hard, like I said, like I don't know how to not do that, and I'm trying to learn it this year. And I'm trying to see like if I actually like try to live in the present and focus on achieving things, where can I go? I was kind of worried about this black side for a bit there, but I'm kind of happy with how this is coming out. I should do shit like this more often. Like look how fucking cool. But yeah, I don't, even with everything that I said about trying to live in the present and really like the message of Unus Annus like really resonating with me, I still really, it's hard for me to like, even with like day-to-day stuff, I don't like stuff where the journey is the important part. Like people are like, I don't like taking walks for the sake of taking walks. Like I don't like walking places unless I'm going somewhere. I don't like people who are like just anything where it's like the journey matters more in the end. No, I don't know how you get into that mindset of like the process is more important than the end result. And I think that's just like, also I think it's just a weird psychological thing, you know, like even with in school, it was always like the end result of getting the grade was more important than the learning or the process, which is why I never bothered to like learn how to learn things. It's because it didn't matter. Like the end result was the same. It didn't matter if I put in effort or not. If I put no effort and I still was pulling in like A's, did it matter that I wasn't learning, that I wasn't trying, that I wasn't practicing or putting in effort? No, it didn't, because the end result, which was what mattered, was a good grade, and that's what school is about. It's about getting good grades. And so when I think about like life being about the journey, like it's not about being born, it's not about dying, it's about everything that happens in the middle. Like that's what life is about. It like it drives me nuts. It's agonizing. Like what is the point of putting in all this effort just for it to go nowhere? Like how do you enjoy the effort? Like this is genuinely me asking you, internet, like how do you find joy in the in-between? Like, how do you live in the present and only care about the present and not the fact that none of it matters, you know? And everyone's like, well, why does it matter what happens when you're dead? You're gonna be dead, you're not even gonna realize it. And it's like, yeah, that's the point though. Like, I don't know, it doesn't even make sense to me. Like, trying to explain it, I feel like I sound like a crazy person. I don't really know how to explain it. I just lose myself in my head. I lose myself in this like, well, what are you putting an effort in when you're gonna die and it's all gonna be for nothing? But then it's like, well, what if it's not for nothing? But it's like, you're never gonna know, right? Anyway, I'm gonna grab, I think a look like this requires kind of a more defined brow than I'm used to. So I'm actually gonna pull this bad boy, this Kat Von D pencil brow thing, and try to actually define my brows a little bit more than I normally do. If anyone knows, like, if there's a name for my weird existential fear of death and how I can cope with it, or like who I can talk to like work on that. Like, I've mentioned it briefly with my therapist, but because there's like so much else, like day-to-day stuff to talk about with my therapist, it's hard to get into the really existential stuff. But it's weird that when I say it out loud, I realize so many of the things in my life are connected. Like, I wouldn't have ever made that connection between like school and death and all of that being like about journeys and process in the middle if I hadn't tried to say it out loud. Jesus, Hail Mary, this is awful. I learn every day that brows are never going to be my strong suit, I don't think. But yeah, so Unus Annus I think has been a really good platform just for me to start having these discussions with myself of, you know, trying to figure out a way to let myself enjoy the process. I don't know if I'm ever going to get there though, because I still I feel nauseous right now having talked about death for so long. I feel nauseous about the idea of dying. I feel nauseous about like the fact that death could really creep up on any, I could die tomorrow and we'll have achieved none of the things I wanted to in life, and I'll just like fade into like nothingness. That's I think my other thing is like, I have so many things I want to do in my life before I die. But, and you know how like Mark has talked about that, how that motivates him, that he wants to get so much done before he dies? And that motivates him to like not waste any second. That's what paralyzes me. The fact that there's so much I want to get done and I don't know what my end, like I don't know if it's just like procrastination on like speed, but because I don't know what my deadline is, I don't know how much time I have to get everything I need to get done or I want to get done. And so I just live in this weird paralyzed anxiety about how I don't know when the end is gonna be. But it's like, I mean, if you start doing those things, at least you'll get some of them done before you die, as opposed to being freaked out about how you might die tomorrow having done none of them. Like, yeah, that could happen. You could also live to 80 and have done none of them, but you're not gonna get any of them done if you don't start them. I hope I'm making sense, guys. I'm really sorry. I hope you're here for the makeup, because what I'm saying makes no freaking sense, I don't think. These are just weird chats I have in my head. This is very intense. This is a very, very intense eyebrow, like more intense than I was trying to make it. I think this one looks okay. This one's like a kind of a hot mess. I'm gonna stop messing with my brows. It's not getting any better. I'm just gonna put clear brow gel on. It's the same ColourPop one I use all the time. But yeah, I don't know if anyone has advice on how to not get paralyzed by like the inevitability of death. That would be cool. Like truly, like I am the person that like everyone's like, I would never be immortal. If you gave me a pill to immortality right now, with the caveat that if I got sick of it, I could like end it. It wasn't like suddenly like you're immune to death. It was just like you will not die unless you like take the antidote or something. I would be all over that, because that's the thing. And I know it's like, again, it's like antithetical to everything Unus Annus is about. You can't stop the clock. Like you cannot do that. Like that's not how anything works. But I wish it was so badly, and I don't know how to stop wishing it was like that. I think if you aren't constantly crippled by the inevitability of the end of everything, your life is probably a lot better. Like I don't encourage anyone to be like this. Like it's like not fun. It's painful. It also just means you're always asking people like weird existential questions that they have no way of answering. Dude, my brows look nuts. I don't think my brows are definitely a low point in this. I want to darken up just the top part of this a little bit, so I'm gonna grab Slated, which is just like a darker gray. I'm just gonna like go all the way into this corner and just really, I don't know if I want this to stay like a matte look or if I think it should go like a little glittery. I can't decide. I don't know what I want. I think I'm gonna keep it matte just because that feels more kosher. Actually, I'm gonna grab a little bit of this Starstruck like silvery shade and put that right in the middle over here, and then I'm gonna grab this Night Dream, which is like a black with a lot of reflect glitter in it, and put it on this side. And that, my friends, is gonna be my inner corner highlight. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I'm gonna take a quick second just to fix under this eye because the fallout is kind of nuts. Okay, so under my eye, I'm gonna grab, so I have this white ColourPop gel liner that I'm gonna use to do my tight lining on this eye, and then I'm gonna do the black side with this MAC Graphic Black lip liner on the black side. I think it's really old and I hope it still like works. This is like whiter than my white eyeshadows. Like I feel like if I had like a white like base, like a white cream shadow, that might have been the best process to get this side like fully white, but that's okay. You live and you learn, right? I'm trying really hard not to dwell on the mistakes and just focus on like the process. This whole look is just about experimentation. Like I've never done anything like it before. I'm just learning as I go about what would have worked, what might work better for like a future execution of something similar. I just took some of the white liner because I just thought it was more white, and I kind of went over the shadow with it because I kind of wanted to just marinate the color of this lower line a little more with the top, and it wasn't doing that without me having done this. Because it's a liner and it's a pencil liner, it's a little bit patchy, but not bad, I don't think. And then I think I'm just gonna do my lower lash line. Actually, no, let me do liner now. So this is the hard part, and I'm definitely gonna do the black side first, and if it doesn't work, then I'm just gonna abandon ship. So this is the Kat Von D Inkwell liner in the color Whiteout. I'm gonna try to go over this black with it, and hopefully it shows up. I'm just gonna do like a normal wing. I'm not trying to do anything fancy here, just because I don't think I'm capable of it. And this is kind of like, you know how like on Unus Annus, like Ethan was Unus, and it was like all black, and sometimes there was like little white embellishments, and it was the opposite for Mark. He was Annus, and he wore all white, and sometimes there were like little black embellishments. The liner is gonna be the embellishment, I think. So I might disappear just because I have to lean down really close to my mirror to be able to have any chance of doing this. I've never been a huge fan of these. I just find them very difficult to apply, but it's the only like liquid white I have, and I really feel like that's essential for this. Like that pencil I just use on my lower line is never gonna work here. It just dries super chunky, which is my issue. The other thing is it's getting all over my lashes, which is making them clump together, which I hate so much. I think that's the best I'm gonna be able to do. When I say getting a straight line with this is near impossible, I mean it. It's like terrible. Like honestly, if I had any other white liquid, I would use that over this because it was impossible. Seriously. And then for the liquid on the other side, I'm just gonna use this tattoo liner, Kat Von D. I do genuinely love this, but again, I need to get really close because I cannot do liner work like from far away at all. I think that's the best. I'm gonna make this liner look. I'm just gonna do my lower lash line now. So I'm gonna take some of this Young Love and just go under. And I'm gonna grab some of the black and go on, do the same thing on this side. I have so much fallout like everywhere. And I'm just gonna put some mascara on. So I'm gonna take this Mercier Big Liner from Lancome and just like coat my lashes. If I could like reverse the mascara too, that'd be cool, but I like don't have a white mascara. I think most mascara primers are white, but they're not really thick enough, I feel like, to fully cover up the black of just my like natural lashes. Sorry, not to bring up 21 Pilots in this video, but we are talking about death, and in their song, I think it's a Heavy Dirty Soul, they have a lyric like it was, death inspires me like a dog inspires a rabbit, and that line has always resonated with me so much because that's exactly how I feel. Like I feel like a lot of people are motivated by death. I'm not motivated to do things before I die. I'm like terrified of death. All death does is scare me. Like the way like a dog does not inspire a rabbit to like live its life, a dog inspires a rabbit to like constantly be living in fear and being ready to like jump and get away at any moment. Like that's how I feel. I feel like death inspires me to always be on edge and always be paranoid and always be afraid, which sucks. Like it really does suck. It's really not like a way that I would recommend anybody live their life, but that's how I do it, and I don't know how to stop. So it's rough. I don't know if this video has had any sort of coherent thought process, but this look looks really cool. Like it's definitely not perfect. There are places where I'm like, if I had more skill, I would do this in a different way. Or if I like knew how to do makeup better, I would change things. And I just put mascara on my nose, but I'm just gonna let it dry and then like flake it off because otherwise it's just gonna smear. Otherwise, I think that looks really sick. The white liner on this side, even though it's kind of choppy, is super duper cool. And then for lipstick, I have two colors. So first off, I'm gonna line my lips. I don't have like black or white lip liner, so I'm just using this. It's called No Bleeding Lips. I don't know what this brand is. The product is called No Bleeding Lips, and it's like a transparent lip liner, which I figured is better than no lip liner. Ideally, I would have a liquid white lipstick and a liquid black lipstick, but both of them are like stick formulas, so they're gonna smear unless I use this. And even with this, I'm like cutting it pretty close, but like my preference for this would be matte liquid lipsticks. I just don't have them in those colors. Just because bullet formulas are more prone to smearing, and these colors are colors that look really bad when they smear. So the black I'm using is ColourPop's lippy stick in the color Bull Chic, and then the white is just a Kat Von D studded cream lipstick in the shade Whiteout. Do I want to do the white on the same side and the black? Yeah, I think so. I think I'm gonna do the white. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to my original idea, which is doing white on the white side and black on the black side, and not like switching them. Part of me wants like, should I flip them? But I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna draw like a line down the center of my lips just so I know when to stop with the white. I feel like this is one of those looks that would have benefited from me putting foundation on my lipstick, on my lips first to get rid of the color underneath. I'm doing the white side first again because I don't want to get like, getting black out of white is a lot harder than getting white out of black. Like if I take the white too far, I can just go over it with the black, if I do the black first and then I'm trying to get white on top of spots, it's gonna be impossible. I'm like obsessed with this. I should do fun like looks like this more often. Like I'm really having a good time. I don't know, have I said everything I need to say about death? I think, yeah, I think just my main thing is like, people say death gives life meaning, and I wish I could see that. I feel like death takes away the meaning of life. In that, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just always searching for something like a higher purpose, and not just the idea that we're just chilling here until we're not, and it's all just some cosmic fluke. Even though in like reality, that probably is exactly what's happening. I think this look is kind of me, in a way, grieving and mourning Unus Annus in the ideal world where the zombie version of them does not find me. I don't know, this has been therapeutic. If any of my friends want to give me like color palettes for the eyeshadow look I should do when they die, jokes, but like that'd be kind of a fun idea, you know, like doing eyeshadow looks based on my friends. That'd be kind of fun. If you're my friend and you would actually want me to do that, let me know, because that sounds kind of fun. Am I cool or am I cool? Because I feel very cool right now. Boom. There we go, and that mascara is gone. So the ColourPop was definitely a lot creamier to put on, like it just glided on way more easy. This is just like a thicker formula, like I just have to like press in a little more and stop slapping my lips together because it's making the white mix. I don't know if this video had like a thesis or any sort of like point, but here it is. This is my Unus Annus inspired makeup look. That was part of my grieving process for this channel. That was really cool. I don't think there's gonna be anything like it, like ever. It was cool. It was an experience. I'm glad I was part of it for even just like the week that I was. I am gonna keep up with my own personal 1 year long project, and I'm gonna hope that it inspires me to live in the moment. And if anyone has any advice on how to like get over just like weird existential thought loops and constantly thinking about death and how like nothing you do matters because you're just gonna disappear and be forgotten anyways. If anyone has any advice on how to like get over any of that, I would love to hear it. It would bring me a great deal of like mental stability, I think. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up because I am being completely incoherent and I'm done my makeup. Actually no, oops, setting spray, guys. I forgot setting spray almost. So yeah, I'm gonna work on personally trying to get over my fear of death and trying to, or maybe not get over it, but just like accept it, you know? I can't accept death. And I think that's like a basic part of learning to live in the moment is accepting that death is inevitable, and I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do it. I keep thinking there's gonna be somehow to kind of like get out of jail free card at the end of the road that will like somehow make me the exception. That's not how it is. So I need to learn how to enjoy the present and enjoy the process and enjoy the journey. I need to just learn to enjoy like life and the concept of being alive and remembering to live because death is coming and not just being like in denial about it. So if anyone has any advice about that, that would be really cool because all I do is suffer. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna go now. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Drop me a comment down below. If you could subscribe, that would be super cool. And I would super love it if you could follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, and because I post on YouTube every Wednesday, I will see you guys next week. Bye!